How could I be responsible for my own abuse as a child? That's so painful. Yeah. So what I hear in this is that there's a misunderstanding of the teaching of 100% responsibility. So sometimes we get a little bit of information and it's just not enough for it to all kind of gel together and make sense. So I want to let you know several things. First of all, you're not responsible in the way that you might think of the word responsible, which would be to blame or at fault. Spirit is not looking at you through eyes of right, wrong reality, where there's good, bad, right, wrong. Spirit is looking at this situation from a perspective of full acceptance, 100% acceptance. So whatever is happening here on the planet is fully acceptable from Spirit's eyes. Second, your soul came here on a mission. Your purpose is to awaken to the idea that you are spirit in a body, that you're a divine being here in this body. And you're coming up out of this right-wrong reality, up this spiral of growth, up out into the loving and the infinite acceptance. This is the process of awakening. So your soul chose this incarnation. Your soul actually picked your parents and your birth situation, believe it or not. So if there was abuse in your childhood, it was a setup, and you went into it knowingly on the soul level, believe it or not. Now, your soul knows that you are capable of handling this lesson. There's a spiritual principle that says we are never given more than we can handle. So what this means is if your life was very painful, it's kind of like being in an advanced class rather than being in kindergarten or first grade. You're coming in with a big challenge, and your soul knows that you have everything it takes to succeed. The goal is to graduate, not fight the fact that you enrolled in this particular lesson. Now, you might not like this lesson at all, and that's okay. You can still attend a class and get great grades even though you're not thrilled about the curriculum. So your job here is going to be to stop looking back on it through these eyes of horror and looking at it in this right-wrong, I was a victim and there were these perpetrators in my life. But instead to start to raise yourself up this spiral of consciousness and begin to look back on what happened to you through eyes of your own personal power. And the way that that can start to happen is to first get yourself out of right-wrong reality. Let go of the idea that you ever did anything wrong. Let go of the idea that it was your fault. Let go of the idea that you deserved to be punished. Let all of that go and come into a new idea of, I'm just learning and growing, and this is part of my spiritual curriculum, and I didn't ever do anything wrong. I'm totally innocent. I'm just this divine, loving being, and I'm here on Earth School. And now start looking at your past through eyes of loving. Take yourself out of victim mentality. So instead of viewing yourself as this poor, pitiful victim and all this stuff happened to you from these oppressors, I want you to bring yourself up into equality and see that you were equal to every single person in your entire past. And start to see yourself as capable and able to stand and start to respond differently. This is where the teaching of responsibility comes in, because responsibility is really the ability to respond. That's on you. So how you responded in the past when you were younger, before you were awakened, was you responded from this fear-based place of I'm a victim and this bad thing is happening to me and I'm powerless. Start to respond differently in the now. Say, I've never been a victim. I'm equal. I'm equally powerful. And then take this information back to your past. Imagine standing up in your memory. Imagine your little one feeling empowered to say stop, or maybe to tell someone, or get help, or maybe help themselves, maybe leave the situation, or whatever it is that you need to do to stand up. You can even just watch the situation play out from a different mindset, from this perspective of, I'm untouchable because I'm a divine being, and nobody can harm my loving essence. So however it works out for you to resolve this, to claim your power on the inside, you want to bring compassion back to the memory and strength and power back to your memory, so that all of your parts that felt abused and felt victimized can get on board with who you are in the now, loving, powerful, connected, and sourced from within. View your past through eyes of compassion and loving, and this is how you take responsibility for what happened. Many blessings of joy and vibrant freedom.